Good morning. I need to talk to you about something. We are going to have to control our own lives. Nobody's going to do it for us. And I see that a lot of times we are struggling financially. So when you think about it, you're going to have to do financially something like what you do physically. For example, if you know that your physical health is suffering, then you're going to have to take control of that. You may have to, if you're overweight, practice a little dieting and working out. If you know that you have some other kind of illness, you may have to control your diet even still. And you may have to wean yourself away from certain bad habits. Well, you're going to have to do the same thing financially. For example, if you know that you love to splurge, maybe you like to buy those pocketbooks, you like to go, and watch those movies, you like to actually take trips, but you find that at the end of your month, your money has run out, then you're going to have to stop that. Practice a little financial dieting. You're not going to be able to do everything that you want to do, at least right now. Set yourself up so that you do the difficult thing now so that you can actually enjoy your life later on. If you know that, for example, you are someone who is making credit mistakes, then you're going to have to figure out what it is that you're doing wrong. And you're going to have to put a little financial muscle behind making sure that not only do you stop that, but that you also then put credit building practices into place. For example, one common thing that we see is that people don't pay on time and they get late payments. And if you're at least 30 days late, then it can be reported to the credit bureaus, right? Well, sometimes it's simply a matter that someone has forgotten to pay. Well, one thing that you can do about that is to set up automatic payments, and you can do that right online. But the only thing about that is make sure that you have the amount of money in whatever account that those funds are coming out of in there when they pull automatically. But you can also sometimes call and ask the creditor to change the payment date. Maybe it's a little bit easier for you to have money in the account at a certain time. Ask them. They will often change your payment date. Another thing that we see is that sometimes people just, you don't necessarily calculate whether or not you're getting the best deals. I know that there are some companies that offer us the family sizes. I'm not going to call any names. And yes, they look great. And they sometimes are. But you also have to be willing to pull out that calculator sometimes while you're right there and see whether or not the cost per unit is actually beneficial to you. That's one thing, because sometimes we'll find that it looks good, but if you actually do the calculation, the cost per unit was actually better at the other store. Also though, if you buy something from one of those companies that sells the family size things, it's not beneficial to you if you don't use it all. If you end up having to throw half of it out because you got a good deal, but you couldn't use it, then that is a waste of your money. Now, what you could do, maybe there's a family that you could go in with, and maybe you all separate to how much you each could use. Now that could be beneficial, but we just want to put a little, a few good habits, let's say, into place because we are suffering a lot of times unnecessarily financially. And in this new year, I know that we often set, New Year's resolutions and things like that. It's always a good time to do the right thing, but sometimes it's a little easier for people at the beginning of a year. But let me say this. When we start claiming each year as our year, it's good to a point, but we also see that each year we say that the next year is going to be our year. And we have found, especially recently, that these years have been adding fire to an already smoldering thing, right? So we have to just be ready to do the difficult thing. Be ready to take control of our lives and be ready to do whatever it takes within reason now. Okay, to get ourselves back on track, because that's the only way that we're going to survive. And a lot of our stress and trauma is coming from not only spiritual deficits, but financial deficits. So let's do this. Okay, bye-bye.